Hey guys, this is Ishan from Polygon. I'm basically part of the NFT and gaming side of things. So, would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to present this talk. And, just typically, I would just like to, divide this talk into three parts. Basically, NFTs in general, how they have taken the world by storm, and what we have seen so far. Secondly, Polygon and NFTs, what we have been doing on the NFT side of things, how we have grown, why we have grown, and thirdly, how Polygon is looking at NFTs going forward. So, to just basically get started, I think, we have all borne witness to, how NFTs have grown. I think with uh, applications like CryptoKitties in 2017 and other such OG projects in the space, right? I think no one basically saw that, maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, this entire space would just explode with activity. It will become very vibrant, a lot of different communities. But I think, that was bound to happen. I think crypto had its roots majorly on the financial side of things, right? I think trading crypto was basically sort of like the low hanging fruit. But now, when you look at it this way, right, I think getting culture into crypto has sort of become really important and was inevitable. You just look at things, everything gets culture involved in one way or another. So I think something like that has definitely happened with NFTs recently, right? I think maybe February, March, April were amazing months for NFT sales. Like you had people selling, art for $3 million, $4 million, $69 million. A lot of people had started scratching their heads around the fact that, why is this happening? How is this happening? Which got more eyeballs, which brought a lot more people into the space. So in terms of NFTs, right, I think art was basically NFT art was basically bound to be the major adoption center because for so many years artists never had true connection with the community, true an avenue where they could do that without any intermediaries who would take up a large chunk of the transactions. They did not have an opportunity to have a financial say in how they could control royalties and get perpetual income flow. But with NFTs, of course, it was bound to happen. NFTs provided them with an opportunity to directly engage with fans, to participate in future royalties by being always connected to the original art they created. And it's amazing, right? I think that's been happening a lot, whether in art, music, celebrities, uh, right? So you look at Kings of Leon, they dropped an album as NFTs on Yellow Heart, which is a platform on Polygon. And, now a lot of artists like Grimes, William Shatner, Paris Hilton, all of these are basically trying to come in. But at the same time, what's more important here is basically communities rather than fan following. We have had, artists who have millions in fan following, but their NFTs rarely got sold. But at the same time, you have artists in the hundreds who have hundreds of fans, but their NFT arts are getting sold, so quickly. It's all the power of communities, right? I think the main issue with NFTs currently that we feel is basically utility. I think the market is maturing, and it's not a cash grab situation anymore as it was a few months back, right? I think a lot more understanding is getting so a lot more understanding is basically getting created between artists. They are looking more, not just artists but also developers, right? They are trying to create of NFTs, think of NFTs as something more than just a collectible, how to add more utility to it, how to add a lot more liquidity to it. That's why we are seeing the likes of, liquidity, NFT protocols, fractionalization, NFTs as collateral, creation of specific NFT DAOs like Preser DAO. We are basically now at that point where the market has matured, the cash grab opportunities have gone, but at the same time, we are looking at NFTs from a more strategic, from a more utilitarian, uh, state of mind, which is basically being showcased by the multitude of NFT projects that are getting developed. So going on to the second topic, right? I think in terms of Polygon, uh, and NFTs. So what we've seen at Polygon is, right, I think we are basically, a very strong infrastructure provider for NFT and gaming side of things. Why Polygon is suited? Firstly, we are secured by Ethereum. We are a commit chain. All your assets, all your transactions are checkpointed onto Ethereum. Ethereum is the most secure chain out there. So all of that security is then transferred onto Polygon. Secondly, faster block times, 2-second transaction finality. Thirdly, cheaper transactions. For $10 you can do millions of NFT minting or NFT transfers or any sort of NFT transaction. So it's pretty cheap that way. Developer tools and user experience enhancing tools, right? For example, fiat on ramping, for example, fiat on ramping. Then we have meta transactions, which make everything gasless. Users don't have to pay any gas. So all of these tools are available. And I personally feel that, unlike maybe DeFi, NFT and gaming side of things, or the NFT or gaming experience for, users focus a lot on, user experience and product design, because NFTs is something, or gaming is something that people can get a lot more easy or a lot more relatably than compared to collateralized lending or specific or very complex DeFi projects or concepts, which is what we also believe internally at Polygon. We believe that the next 100 million users to crypto will be a lot more facilitated by gaming and NFTs, because that is something people understand readily, right? And for that, you need the right tools, you need the right infrastructure to make the seamless onboarding of such people onto crypto very possible, and which is what we provided Polygon with all the developer tools and user experience improving things that we have. Fifth, environmental aspect, right? We have seen a lot of NFT artists. A lot of my friends are NFT artists, and they have periodically mentioned that a lot of these proof of work chains are not great for NFT transactions. They have a huge environmental cost associated with them. So I think at that point, I think Polygon is most definitely suited to basically be that layer where everything around NFTs can happen, because we are a proof of stake system, which is, we have crunched the numbers internally, and we are, like, I would say 99.9% more environmental friendly than other proof of work systems. So on that front, that is one of the reasons why we have seen large scale adoption by NFT projects and artists to build on Polygon. So just to give you a little bit more about Polygon's projects. So OpenSea is there on Polygon. Mintable will go live. A few of the important marketplaces we are speaking to in terms of games: Neon District, Zedrun, Skyweaver. Some of the biggest games in blockchain are on Polygon. In terms of metaverses, Decentraland, Somnium Space, Sandbox, Atari is building its own metaverse. So in terms of metaverses, we are really bullish on metaverses. All of this to say that, NFT and gaming go hand in hand, and there's unlimited synergies between, how NFTs and games can revolutionize the entire space. We are already seeing that with Axie Infinity, right? The volumes and adoption that they've had in the last 2-3 months has been insane, right? So that is what we are looking at. In terms of what's next for Polygon, the final section. So we are in the process of creating, Polygon Studios, which will sort of act as a bridge between Web 2 and Web 3, in both NFTs and gaming. So let's say tomorrow Epic Games would like to, and just as an example, tomorrow Epic Games would like to, include NFTs in Fortnite. How will they do that? So that is where Polygon Studios comes in. We'll basically sort of provide them with the tools, marketing, technical expertise, funding, etc., so as to facilitate all of that. On the NFT side of things, let's say, a huge luxury brand would like to create their entire, they would like to create a customized marketplace of NFTs for themselves to drop their new designs, etc. So on that front, we will help them as well. So all of this to say that, Polygon Studios is basically, our take on the long-term view that we hold at Polygon. We are really bullish on NFT and gaming as separate concepts and together as well, right? I think we are really bullish on that, and we would like to solidify our position, because we were always very strong in these two areas, but now we would like to take it to the next level. That is what is happening. So, I think that is what we're looking at Polygon as well. So I think Korea is a great market in terms of crypto. Of course, it's a very vibrant market, and would really appreciate and invite all the Korean developers that are building their NFT, gaming, or even DeFi protocols, to come on board onto the Polygon network, because of our closeness with Ethereum. with the community that we have, which is very vibrant. And yeah, would love to have everyone's projects on Polygon. So yeah, this has been amazing. Thank you to the organizers, and have a good conference. Thank you.
화가님이 생각하시는 예술가의 역할과 작가로서의 본질적 자격은 무엇이라고 생각하시나요?
우리 예술가들은 어떤 굉장히 부담을 가지고 자기가 작업을 합니다. 왜냐하면 너무 의무감이 앞서기 때문이죠. 내가 이 작업을 해서 어떤 창조가 될까? 라고 했을 때 굉장히 어떤 창조에 대한 부담, 자기 스스로가 그 예술가라는 그 부담 때문에 오히려 창작 활동을 하는데 상당한 방해가 되고 있습니다. 창조라고 하는 것은 예술가만의 그 독식을 해야 된다라는 그런 요소는 없습니다. 모든 분야에 있어서 창조자는 다 존재하고 있습니다. 정치에서도 그렇고, 또 의학에서도 그렇고, 과학에서도 그렇고, 많은 분야에 그 창조자들이 있어 왔죠. 그랬을 때 창조하면은 뭔가 예술에 국한되는 그런 오해를 하고 있겠지만은 창조라고 하는 것은 굉장히 광범위한 이야기입니다. 그랬을 때 그 창조라고 하는 것은 그런 어떤 예술가의 독식이 아닌 우리 인류들이 가지는 보편적인 희망, 그것을 대변하고 있고 실천되는 것이 창조다, 이렇게 생각을 합니다. 그랬을 때 그 예술가들은 나만이 이걸 만들어 낼 수가 있고, 이 창조는 내가 했다라는 것은 상당히 오만스럽다고 생각을 합니다. 내가 아니더라도 누가 했을 것이고, 또 지금이 아니더라도 언젠가 했을 것이다. 이랬을 때 그 창조라고 하는 것은 인류의 어떤 보편적이고 희망치가 그 창조의 필요성을 만들어냈기 때문에 많은 창조자들을, 창작을 하는 분들은 그 자기가 만들어냈다라는 그런 생각에서 벗어나는 것이 좋은 자세지 않을까. 자기가 아니더라도 누군가가 합니다. 그것은 시대가 불렀고 인류의 필요성이 불렀다라는 것입니다.
그러면 NFT가 지금 이 시점에서 탄생한 어떤 이유도 시대가 불러서 탄생한 기술이라고 생각하시나요? 그
NFT 기술은 종래 미술사에서 많은 어떤 일반인과 귀족과 또 이렇게 전유물로 생각하는 일부의 것이 아니고 모든 그 일반인들과 함께하는 역사가 짧았습니다. 그러나 우리 미술사의 역사라고 하는 것은 결국은 일반인과의 공유를 이야기하는 거였었습니다. 그랬을 때 이번 NFT의 그 현상은 또다시 일반인들과의 교감을 공유하는 그런 시대라고 생각을 합니다. 평면적이기만 했던 어떤 회화의 세계, 또 가시적이기만 했던 그런 세계에서 실제로 접할 수 있는, 비록 온라인상이긴 하지만은 굉장히 어떤 그 친화력을 가질 수 있는 그런 공유 문화다. 그리고 매니아들만 접근이 되어 왔던 종래의 어떤 정서로부터 예술이라는 그런 고집을 버리면서 굉장히 어떤 적극적인 그 만남, 이것이 지금 NFT가 가져다 주는 굉장히 어떤 효과일 것이다. 그랬을 때 많은 작가들은 자기가 이제까지 경험해 왔던 그런 굉장히 단순하고 또 그 발표의 어떤 개념에서 이제 좀 폭이 넓은 방법을 달리하는 발표가 자연스럽게 되어질 거라고 저는 생각을 합니다.
기존에 사실 NFT 시장이 확산이 되면서 기존의 이제 미술 시장에서는 작품, 실물 작품을 소유하는 형태로서의 소유권이라는 개념이 있었는데요. 사실 이제 디지털 세상에서의 창조물이 탄생하다 보니까 이게 종래의 소유권이라는 개념과는 조금 이제 다른 형태로 소유에 대한 개념이 정의가 될 수 있을 것 같아요. 그 부분에 대해서는 화가님은 어떻게 생각하시는지.
우리가 이 작품 역시도 저의 작가 생활하면서 가장 불만이 이 그림이 욕심 많은 콜렉터의 그 창고에만 들어가서 평생 입게 된다면은 그 그림은 얼마나 불행할 것인가 라는 그 불만이 제가 이렇게 쭉 있어 왔었습니다. 우리가 작품을 할 때는 그 그림이 나의 창고든 누구의 창고든 창고에 박혀 있으라고 그림을 그리는 것은 아니었을 겁니다. 어떤 형태든 이렇게 발표가 또 발표의 기회가 많으면 많을수록 그 행복한 작품이 될 텐데 이 NFT 쪽에 또 온라인 쪽에 발표는 바로 그 창고 속에 들어가지 않는다라는 아주 좋은 장점이 있는 것입니다. 그리고 그 누군가가 독식을 한다라는 그 개념이 또 깨지는 것입니다. 그러니까 소유 역시도 공유된다 라는 것은 굉장히 발전된 형태의 콜렉팅이다 라고 했을 때 저 같은 개념의 작가는 그렇게 되기를 희망합니다. 그러면서도 또 이렇게 욕심이 나는 경우에는 또 그 나름대로의 또 NFT의 또 방식이 또 이렇게 있을 걸로 생각이 드는데 어쨌든 그 그림을 이제까지 소장한다라는 그 미술 시장에 있어서도 그 소장의 방식에 있어서 굉장히 파격적으로 변하게 되는 그런 21세기다. 그래서 상당히 도전해보고 싶고 또 궁금한 것이 많은 것만큼 앞으로 조금 더 이렇게 공부를 해가면서 장점과 단점을 발견하겠습니다.
아까 화가님께서 말씀하셨던 것처럼 예술가들만이 창조자가 아니다라고 말씀하셨는데 그렇게 보면은 화가님이 그리시는 시대의 얼굴들, 반고라던가 달리라던가 오드리 헵번이라던가 이런 사람들도 사실은 자신의 분야에서 창조성을 드러낸 분들이잖아요. 근데 이제 그런 분들의 광기를 화가님께서 그리시는 걸로 알고 있는데 화가님이 생각하시는 광기의 정의는 무엇인지 조금만 설명 부탁드립니다.
우리가 광기, 이 개념이라고 하는 것은 굉장히 어떤 그 집착을 의미합니다. 자기의 인생에 있어서 이 부분에 있어서만큼은 다른 사람과 유별난, 내가 살아가고 있는 이유가 이 부분에 있어서만큼은 다른 사람과 분명한 차이점이 있고 그것을 실천하기 위해서는 적극적이어야 된다. 이것이 어떤 광기, 평범한 입장에서는 그것이 광기로 보였다라는 이야기입니다. 그래서 어떤 그 다빈치의 어떤 그 창조적인 그 개념 역시도 그 인류의 희망 또 자신의 호기심 이것이 합쳐진 어떤 허구의 산물이었다. 그 허구를 현실화시키기 위한 노력은 솔직히 말해서 미친 짓입니다. 거기에 어떠한 집착을 대부분의 사람들, 99.9%의 사람들은 그것은 허구다 그러면서 접근을 안 하려고 합니다. 그 0.001%의 어떤 희망에 집착을 하는 것이 바로 광기이지 않겠는가. 많은 사람들의 비난과 또 험난한 이 세상에서도 자기가 하고 싶은 일을 고집한다라는 것은 상당히 서글프면서도 그 사람의 집착은 굉장히 그 창작이라는 희열이었다. 그 사람만의 인생이라고. 이랬을 때 빈센트 반 고흐의 어떤 그런 서러움, 다빈치의 그 고뇌, 갈릴레오의 그 고통, 진실을 이야기하고 이것이 뭔가 현실화될 수 있는 것을 자기만이 알고 있다. 남이 모르고 있는 지식을 자기만이 알고 있다는 것은 바로 광기다. 미치지 않고서야 그런 생각을 하지 않는다. 미쳐야만이 그 진실을 돌파할 수 있다. 그 결국은 진실이었지 않습니까? 지구가 돌고 있는 것이지 태양이 우리 지구를 도는 것이 아니지 않습니까? 그런데 그걸 진실이라고 말을 했다가는 사형을 받고 법정 구속이 되어야 되는 그 갈릴레오의 어떤 그 묻혀져가는 진실, 다빈치가 꿈꿔왔던 것은 몇백 년 후에 다 현실이 되는 그 르네상스 정신의 실천, 이것이 지금 21세기를 만들었고, 그러한 다빈치의 광기라든지 그 고고의 정신, 그리고 오드리 헵번의 어떤 애정어린 인류에 대한 눈빛, 이런 것이 우리 지구를 살만나게 하고 희망을 줄 수 있는 그런 광기였다, 이렇게 표현하고 싶습니다.
지금 화가님께서도 NFT 프로젝트를 전개하고 계신데요.
네네.
단순한 NFT가 아니라 화가님의 극사실주의 작품을 바탕으로 INFT의 영역을 개척하고 계세요. 화가님께서는 기술의 어떤 부분을 매력적으로 느끼셨는지 그것과 함께 프로젝트에 대한 간략한 소개를 부탁드립니다.
네. 어떤 제가 얼굴을, 확대된 얼굴을, 그림을 이제까지 그려오면서 일반 미술 애호가들의 이렇게 사랑을 이렇게 받았습니다. 저는 얼굴을 그리면서 어떠한 그 인물이 내가 생각하는 특정인이 되는 것입니다. 예를 들어서 빈센트 반 고흐라든지 혹은 살바도르 달리라든지 또 이런 경우에 우리가 공유하고 있는 어떤 그 일반적이고 객관적인 모습을 떠나서 나 혼자만이 해석할 수 있는 그 얼굴, 그러니까 지금 생각하면 그것이 바로 인공지능화, 내가 할 수 있는 인공지능화 시킨 그 새로운 고호다라는 사실이죠. 새로운 인물이다라는 사실입니다. 그러나 그것이 회화로서는 다 표현될 수가 없었습니다. 내 욕심은 굉장히 그 나만의 그 인공지능을 심어서 나는 그 사람에게 빠져들면서 그림을 한 점 한 점 그 사람들을 연구해 왔지만은 평면적으로 표현된 그 회화로서는 한계가 있었습니다. 저는 어떤 그 인물을 집착해서 이렇게 그림을 그릴 때 그 인물이 실제로 제 꿈속에 나타나고 또 그 나타낸 인물과 꿈속에서 많은 대화를 하고 정을 나누었습니다. 그 꿈속에서 나타난 나만의 그 인물이 바로 인공지능화시킨 모습이었다라는 것이죠. 그랬을 때 그것을 지금 현재의 기술로 꼭 꿈이 아니고 실제로 인공지능화 된다 그러면은 정말 그는 창작이 되는 것입니다. 새로운 모습. 그 사람하고 무척 닮아 있지만은 또 전혀 새로운 모습으로서 그 사람이 창조되는 것이죠. 그것이 제가 인물을 그리려고 했던 노력이었고 또 희망이었습니다. 그랬을 때 그 지금 현대 과학의 그 힘과 또 내가 생각하는 그 사람의 어떤 정서적인 특징이 합쳐진다면은 객관적인 자료를 통해서 얼마든지 그 진흥화 시킬 수 있고 NFT의 어떤 시각으로 즐기는 NFT에서 서로의 마음이 서로 공유될 수 있는 그런 NFT로 발전이 얼마든지 가능하다고 생각을 합니다. 저는 그러기 위해서 그 NFT 쪽에 그 기술에 대한 향상을 바라면서 적극 제가 참석할 예정입니다.
예술로서 생계를 유지하기가 쉽지는 않은 것으로 알고 있는데요. 지금 미래 그리고 현재 예술가로서의 어떤 커리어, 전공을 준비하고 있는 친구들에게 한 말씀을 해주시면 감사하겠습니다.
현실에 대한 걱정 때문에 자기의 전공 세계를 포기해서 현실이 해결된다면은 저는 오히려 그렇게 자기 전공 세계를 포기하라고 이야기하고 싶습니다. 그러나 그런다고 해서 되는 것은 아닙니다. 이 세상의 모든 창작물은 팔려야 되는 경우는 없습니다. 팔려지는 게 비정상일 정도로 안 팔려지는 작품 세계가 오히려 더 창조적인 것입니다. 99%가 그런 어떤 시장과는 상관이 없는 전공적인 영역이라고 생각을 합니다. 그래서 전공적인 영역을 택할 것 같으면은 시장을 무시할 수 있는 전공자적인 의식이 있었을 때 그것은 그 자기 자신의 그 인생에서 굉장히 할 일을 했다라는 자부심을 가질 수가 있을 것입니다. 그래서 어떤 보장이 없는 타협을 하느니 보장이 있는 전공을 택하라 라는 말을 드리고 싶습니다.
감사합니다.
안녕하세요. 저는 한국 최초 NFT 아티스트들 중 한 명인 미스터 미상이라고 합니다. 편하게 미상 작가라고 불러주시면 되고요. 화면에 보이는 이거는 제가 만든 아바타입니다. 신기하죠? 저는 슈퍼레어에서 모던 라이프 이즈 러비쉬라는 11장의 루프 애니메이션 시리즈를 연재했고 지금은 다음 연작에 돌입하기 전에 사이드 프로젝트들을 진행하고 있어요. 제가 NFT를 시작하기 전에 저는 한 10년 정도 상업 일러스트레이터이자 애니메이터로 살았어요. 뭐 현대자동차나 라이엇 게임즈 코리아나 빅히트 엔터테인먼트 같은 기업들이랑 일을 한 적도 있었고요. 프리랜서로서 나름대로 괜찮은 커리어를 만드는 중이라고 생각을 했어요. 근데 사실은 조금 좀 많이 지쳐 있었어요. 아무리 들어오는 일이 많다고 해도 결국은 기업의 의뢰를 기다리는 삶이었고 그렇게 만든 작품들은 결국 제 거가 아닌 거잖아요. 그게 그렇게 마음에 들지는 않았어요. 그래서 패트리온이라는 후원 사이트에 제 페이지를 런칭할 준비를 하기도 했었고요. 굿즈를 한번 팔아볼까라는 생각도 했었어요. 그러던 와중에 올해 1월 1일에 인스타그램에서 뿌아트라는 사람이 저를 태그해가지고 이런 글을 올렸더라고요. 미스터 미상이 크립토 아트를 하면 굉장히 잘할 텐데 이런 내용이죠. 저는 바로 DM을 보내가지고 크립토 아트가 대체 뭐냐고 물어봤어요. 그랬더니 저 친구가 너무 고맙게도 크립토 아트는 뭐고 뭐 NFT는 뭐고 이런 거에 대해서 정말 자세하게 설명을 해줬어요. 그런 식으로 정보를 얻고 나서 저는 NFT를 한번 해봐야 되겠다라는 생각을 하게 됐고요. 그 덕분에 이 메타버스라는 이상한 나라에 들어올 수 있게 됐던 거죠. 슈퍼레어에 컨택했던 것도 저 친구 때문이었어요. 최고의 NFT 플랫폼이 어디냐고 물어보니까 슈퍼레어, 노온 오리진, 니프티 게이트웨이 등등 있다고 얘기를 해줬고, 그래서 저는 그 모든 곳들에 포트폴리오를 보냈어요. 가장 먼저 팔렸던 작품은 모던 라이프 이즈 러비쉬 시리즈의 첫 작품인 어드 드림이라는 작품이었어요. 얘를 트위터에다가 공개를 하자마자 사실은 DM으로 여러 가지 제안들이 왔었어요. 예를 들어서 자기네 가상 갤러리 제일 좋은 자리에 작품을 걸어줄 테니까 이거를 아주 싼 가격에 팔아주면 안 되냐, 이런 제안들이요. 근데 저는 이런 제안들이 좋은 건지 나쁜 건지 그 당시로는 판단하기가 되게 어려웠어요. 그래서 작품의 최저가에 대해 생각을 한번 해봤어요. 이 작품은 최저 얼마 이상에 팔 것이고 그 이하에는 어떤 제한도 받지 않겠다라고 스스로 포지션을 정할 필요가 있었던 거죠. 최저가는 당시 제 상업작업 시세를 근거로 해서 12더리움으로 정했어요. 바로 팔리진 않았어요. 가격 책정한 다음에 시간이 조금 지나고 첫 입찰이 들어왔고 비딩을 거쳐가지고 14.7이더리움에 판매가 됐습니다. 팔렸을 때의 기분은 좋다, 신난다 보다는 신기함에 좀 더 가까웠던 것 같아요. 머리로는 이해했다고 생각을 했지만 여전히 약간 뜬구름처럼 들리던 NFT에 대한 개념을 체화하게 됐던 순간이었던 거죠. 저는 남은 연작 전체에 상당한 시간과 에너지를 써도 되겠다는 생각을 합니다. 좀 세게 말하면 여기에다가 올인을 하기로 마음을 먹었어요. 바꿔 말하면은 11장이나 되는 이렇게 디테일한 그림들을 애니메이션으로 리메이크하겠다는 결정은 NFT라는 컨셉이 없었으면 불가능한 결정이었을 거란 얘기죠. 저는 크립토복셀즈의 땅을 하나를 구매를 했고요. 건물을 지어서 작품들을 전시하기 시작했어요. 작품을 누르면 구매 페이지로 가도록 유도하기도 했고요. 그게 실제로 뭐 구매로 이루어졌는지까지는 모르겠어요. 근데 다만 정말 많은 사람들이 여기에 왔다 갔고 다양한 상호작용들이 있었어요. 그러다 보니까 신기하게도 점점 이 공간이 저한테 물리적 공간인 것처럼 느껴지기 시작했어요. 사용을 하다 보면 정이 드는 것 같아요. 저는 모던 라이프 이즈 러비쉬 애니메이션 작업을 계속 진행하면서 이 갤러리에 대해서 하나의 아이디어를 떠올리게 됐어요. 이 공간 자체를 활용해서 애니메이션을 하나 만들어 봐야겠다. 미스터 미상이라는 캐릭터를 그림 안에서 꺼내서 메타버스 안에다가 풀어놔 봐야겠다라는 아이디어였어요. 미스터 미상이라는 캐릭터가 제 사회벽을 뚫고 마치 데드풀 같은 캐릭터가 될 수도 있겠다고 생각을 했어요. 여하튼 그렇게 모던 라이프 이즈 러비쉬의 12번째 작품인 미스터 미상 앤 크립토 월드를 만들게 됐습니다. 이 작품에서 미스터 미상은 그가 등장했던 11장의 작품들에서 빠져나와서 크립토 복셀즈의 공간을 뛰어다니고 상호작용을 해요. 이 안에다가 지나갔다는 흔적을 남겨놓기도 하고요. 그리고 마지막에는 현실 세계로 튀어나올 것 같은 느낌을 주면서 끝납니다. 저는 이 모든 것들이 NFT라는 개념 덕분에 이루어진 확장이었다고 생각해요. 니프티 게이트웨이 드롭에서도 비슷한 경험을 했어요. 이 작품은 2018년도에 그렸던 일러스트레이션을 리메이크한 거였는데 그 니프티 게이트웨이에 좀 독특한 드롭 방식이 있어서 전체 애니메이션이랑 개별 캐릭터 애니메이션들을 따로 나눠서 판매할 수가 있었어요. 이게 가능했기 때문에 저는 개별 인물들한테 각각의 서사를 붙여줄 수도 있었고요. 그리고 제 갤러리를 개조해서 각 인물들과 전체 작품을 효과적으로 보여줄 수 있었고, 여기서 간단한 이벤트를 열거나 퀴즈 같은 것도 숨겨놓을 수 있었어요. 네, 갤러리는 개조가 가능하고요. 버튼 하나로 되돌릴 수도 있어요. 되게 편해요. 결국 이 모든 거는 아주 간단하고 심플한 컨셉 덕분에 가능한 일이었어요. 디지털 작품도 작품이고 그걸 작품으로서 판매할 수 있다는 컨셉이요. 제가 했던 모든 시도들은 이 개념 덕분에 가능했던 거고요. 다른 디지털 작가들한테도 가장 중요한 부분일 수 있을 것 같아요. 판매할 수 있겠다는 가능성이 다른 모든 예술적 가능성을 열어주는 거죠. 디지털 작가들한테는 이전에 없었던 거대한 시장이 갑자기 나타난 것과 같으니까 이거를 적극적으로 이용하고 싶었고요. 여러분들도 이용을 하셨으면 좋겠어요. 시장에 작품을 어필하기 위해서 많은 분들께서 새로운 것들을 시도하실 거예요. 그리고 여태까지 그래 오셨듯 작품을 업그레이드하려고 노력하실 거고요. 여러 곳에서 그런 움직임이 반복되다 보면 디지털 아트씬 전체가 지금보다 훨씬 다채롭고 재밌어질 거라고 생각해요. 다만 이제 NFT를 시작하려고 하시는 작가분들께 드리고 싶은 말씀은 있어요. 작품을 시장에 풀고 경쟁을 하고 경매를 진행시키고 이런 것들이 사람에 따라 다르겠지만 사실 굉장히 스트레스풀한 일일 수도 있어요. 그럴 때는 이렇게 한번 생각해 보시는 게 어떨까요? 작품이 팔리지 않았을 때 본인한테 어떤 일이 일어나나 하는 거예요. 아무 일도 안 일어나죠. 작품이 팔리지 않았다는 건 그냥 작품이 팔리지 않았다는 것 뿐이고요. 그게 꼭 작업이 좋다 나쁘다라는 상관이 없을 수도 있어요. 운과 우연의 문제일 수도 있고요. NFT 이전의 시간과 노동력을 투자해서 만든 디지털 작품들은 사실 아예 팔릴 기회도 얻지 못했었잖아요. 저희 모두는 그럼에도 불구하고 꾸준하게 작품을 만들어 왔고요. 그렇게 생각을 해보면 그 어떤 면을 보더라도 작가한테는 유리한 상황인 거예요. 그러니까 그냥 조금 가볍게 접근하시고 이 움직임 자체를 재밌게 즐겨주셨으면 좋겠어요. 아주 길게 보고 쌓아나가시면은 그거는 적어도 좋은 포트폴리오가 될 거예요. 그렇게 본인의 세계를 점점 풍부하게 만들어 나가시는 거라고 생각을 하고요. 그 자체로 나중에 훌륭한 자산이 될 거라고 생각합니다. 제 계획에 대해서 말씀드리면 저는 한동안은 사이드 프로젝트들에 집중할 거고요. 모던 라이프 이즈 러비쉬 12장을 큰 줄기로 두고 거기에서 작은 가지들을 뻗어서 제 세계를 조금 다채롭게 만드는 그런 작업들을 할 거예요. 유니티 게이트웨이 작업도 그런 시도들 중 하나였고요. 아직 전혀 시작도 못했지만 샌드박스에 간단한 게임을 만들 계획도 가지고 있어요. 이런 사이드 프로젝트들이 끝난 다음에는 다음 연작을 시작할 거예요. 그 연작도 모던 라이프 이즈 러비쉬처럼 아니면 그것보다 더 큰 연작이 될 거고요. 당연히 미스터 미상과 프랑켄 아재도 계속 등장을 할 거예요. 여러분들도 좀 길게 보고 재밌게 계획을 세워보셨으면 좋겠어요. 그 계획이 아주 디테일할 필요는 없다고 생각하고요. 대략적인 줄기 정도는 만들어 보시면 좋을 거라고 생각합니다. 15분에 맞춰달라고 하셨는데 조금 빨리 끝났네요. 여하튼 들어주셔서 감사하고요. 자리 마련해주신 메타서울에게도 감사 말씀드립니다. 여기까지 미스터 미상 작가였습니다. 감사합니다.
It's always hard to record video in front of the camera. Hello everyone, this is Yoyojin. I'd like to introduce myself here, so here we go. In 2010, I dispatched to Zambia through UNESCO. I was living in a community and organized a group for the movie with the youth people in the community. I also created a superhero cartoon to against with the HIV/AIDS. And in 2017, I met Moji Art. Since then, I got lots of chance to showcase my work, such as mural, live painting, animation works. That's how I started to develop career as an artist. In 2019, I'm back to Korea and didn't know where to start. I had to figure out people to know my work, so I went out the street and started to paint. I did it many times and people received it as a performance piece, so while I was painting, people were standing around and watching me painting. And since then I was quite interested on how to relate with the audience and develop this synthesizer with my friend. And I built the speaker like this, and with this speaker I amplify drawing sounds. And early this year, I wanted to bring blockchain into my exhibition, and I found the NFT. So I brought the NFT idea into my solo exhibition and exhibited with the AR technology as a bridge. The idea of exhibition was and record how much sales I make, upload it on Twitter day by day to see how this NFT things goes by with my physical works. I was wondering which one could values more. So I made like $40,000 in total, and 60% of that was NFT. From Science World Residency Program, I was in the Ulsan and spent the time and drawing for a month and created NFT pieces. I'm very honored to speak about my works in this conference. If you ask me what is NFT and how do you gonna carry on your career with that NFT art scene, I still have no idea what am I doing, but one thing I could say for sure is I care my works and I care my people around. So if you follow my works, you could be one of them. So yeah. However, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy my works. Bye!
안녕하세요. 저는 한국에서 활동하고 있는 그래픽 아티스트 낙타라고 합니다. 저는 현재 디지털 콜라주 기법을 기반으로 한 아트워크 작업들을 주로 하고 있으며 다양한 커버 아트 작업과 여러 매체를 통한 상업 활동들도 하고 있습니다. 저는 힘들고 지친 일상을 벗어나고자 도망치듯 떠난 여행에서 영감을 얻어 작업을 시작하게 되었으며 우리가 일상에서 보여지고 느껴지는 풍경과 감정들의 상상력을 더하여 저만의 비주얼 작업을 만들어가고 있습니다. 주로 현실에서 존재하는 요소의 질서 체계를 해체하고 다시 여러 방향으로 조합하고 배치하며 새로운 질서를 만들어내는 것에 재미를 느끼고 있습니다. 거기에 다양한 색감과 텍스처의 여러 시도를 하면서 저만의 스타일을 현재 구축해 나가고 있습니다. 저의 작업물을 한마디로 표현하자면 컬러풀 이미징이라는 화려한 상상, 이 문장과 잘 어울리는 듯합니다. 현재는 다양한 플랫폼을 통하여 NFT 아트 활동을 이어가고 있으며 앞으로 NFT에 대해 더 관심을 갖고 공부하여 NFT를 더 잘 이해하고 접근하고자 노력하고 있습니다. 또한 앞으로 자신만의 스타일과 세계관을 더욱 다듬고 구축해 나가며 또 다른 마켓플레이스에서도 작품 활동을 하고자 합니다. 많은 관심을 갖고 지켜봐 주시길 바라겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Hello, I'm A.I.M, an artist in Korea. I was influenced by pop culture and I'm engaged in painting and various forms of creative activities in the art market. In addition to art fair and gallery exhibitions, sometimes working on commercial art through collaboration with companies such as Riot Games, League of Legends, Puma, Fila, Samsung Lie. When this merged, I became interested in art using blockchain when I encountered NFT art, and I got an opportunity to introduce it like this. Let me introduce the art that I'm doing now. I'm mostly a physical based artwork, and I usually do oil paintings. And after I got to know NFT art, I made a digital art based on my original artworks. Title is Paracel in the Crypto World. They are short animations that express my inspiration cells that experience metaverse in the humorous way. Thanks to the love of many people, the collection went smoothly, and thanks to many collectors and followers, interest and expectations in this field are growing. I valued the coexistence of NFT art and physical art, and expect that if the two are influenced, developed, and grown, it will have a positive impact on the work activities. I will continue to work more dispersely and actively. So please show me a lot of support. Thank you.
안녕하세요. 저는 디지털 일러스트레이션, 페인팅, 비디오 작업을 하는 김용호입니다. 지금까지 10년 정도를 작가로 활동했으며 현재는 NFT 활동과 피지컬 작품 활동을 병행해서 하고 있습니다. 저는 어릴 적부터 여행하는 것을 좋아했으며 많은 긴 여행을 경험했습니다. 2017년부터 2019년까지 2년 동안 디지털 노마드로 일했으며 세계를 여행했고 현재 그 경험을 작업하고 있습니다. 제 작품은 현실에 존재하는 수많은 캐릭터와 이야기를 다양한 색과 선을 통해 재해석하여 만듭니다. 개인적인 경험을 바탕으로 여행에서 수집하고 기록한 결과는 그 기반이 되는 장소의 문화와 라이프 스타일의 특성을 담기 위해 노력하고 공간의 특성, 상황, 감성에 따라 상상력이 추가되고 변화됩니다. 저는 개인 작업을 좋아하지만 나이키, 필라, 로저비비의 발렌타인 위스키, 삼성과도 같은 회사와 협업을 했습니다. 원래 개인 작업을 제외한 작업은 기업들과의 커머셜 워크에만 주력했었지만 올해부터는 달랐습니다. 코로나 바이러스 때문에 여행을 못 가는 올해 저는 NFT라는 것을 알게 되었으며 다른 아티스트들과 관계자, 컬렉터 등을 통해서 새로운 세계를 알아가고 있습니다. 그리고 지난 여행에서 기록해온 것들을 바탕으로 NFT 아트씬에서 활동하고 있습니다.
I'm EunBong. I'm an illustrator based in Korea. I'm making artwork with the story of my character Vu in the NFT world. The little doll Vu is a character inspired by voodoo dolls. Years ago, I thought it would be interesting to see the world from the perspective of a voodoo doll. Against their will, voodoo dolls are created with an evil intention. They suffer pain from stabbing pins and then get thrown away. I found their fate very sad and pitiful. This led me to think there could be many beings like them in our world that are helplessly used, hurt, and then discarded. I for once wanted to understand what they might feel and since have worked on the drawings of my character. These days, I project myself on my character or create interesting situations. At the same time, I try to add emotions people can sympathize with when they see my drawings. This video introduces Vu in Wonderland, a collection on the OpenSea platform. This is the story of Vu traveling in Alice's Wonderland. In this collection, Vu dresses up, transforms, and even changes the shape of the body to become a character that exists in Wonderland. I have been working on these artworks for years, and even I have once thought that it was a natural thing to do. But is it really normal? Watching my character struggle has made me think about the reality of us striving to become part of the real world. I still have a lot of stories to tell through my character. Will you listen to the story of Vu? Thank you so much for listening.
안녕하세요. 서울을 기반으로 회화, 일러스트레이션, 벽화, 애니메이션 등 다양한 그림 활동을 하고 있는 현진어리입니다. 토코토코라는 캐릭터를 그리고 있습니다. 남미에 서식하는 토코투칸이라는 종류의 새가 있어요. 그 새가 가진 특징이 저의 모습과 비슷하다고 생각을 했어요. 그 이유가 그 새의 부리는 크고 화려한데 겉으로 보기에는 무거워 보이고 이게 날 수 있을까? 하는 생각이 들곤 하지만 이 새의 부리는 실제로 텅 비어 있어서 날기가 편하다고 합니다. 사람들이 저를 볼 때 되게 긍정적이고 용감하고 밝다고 봐주시는데 제가 생각하는 저는 그렇지가 않거든요. 되게 소심하고 부정적이고 그러한 반전적인 모습들이 토코토코의 반전적인 부리의 모습과 비슷하다고 생각을 해서 이 캐릭터를 주제로 다양한 여러 가지 작업들을 꾸준히 해오고 있습니다. 제가 살아가면서 느끼는 많은 감정들과 제가 겪어가는 이야기들을 토코토코들과 함께 캔버스 위에 또는 벽화나 애니메이션으로 다양하게 풀어나가고 있습니다. 특히 올해 처음 토코토큰을 시작으로 크립토월드에 발을 들였습니다. 앞으로 현진어리의 NFT 아트 많은 기대 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
My name is Donglee Han, and I'm a visual artist based in Orange County, California. Through this YMIK project, I wanted to depict the true representation of people instead of by their stereotypes built by mass culture, showing them as their younger selves in their moment back to when their experiences, knowledge, and ego did not interfere to hear other people's perspective. I want to disrupt stereotypes and embrace people as who they really are. For my current focus, I work on a series that documents my journey, navigating the new world in the metaverse. Influenced by modern society, my work explores a varying relationship between people in different parts of the world, and building a community where we all find a sense of belonging. While I use this variety of digital mediums and formats, in each artwork my methodology is consistent. They're linked by recurring patterns of discovery and exploration through the traversing of subject matter. Each series consists of multiple works, often in a range of various formats grouped around a specific time and meanings. During production, new areas of inspiration and concerns arise, which lead to the next body of work. Nectar and Dream are paired with the theme of waking up in a new world and filling the space with love and passion.
Hello, I am Pika Park, an artist from Korea. Bobo is an iconic character that reflects myself, and I express the beauty I experience, as well as the confrontation between ideality and rationality. So far, not many of my works have been released through NFT, and they are all about Milky Bobo, revealing stories related to ideality. Ideality in my works refers to inner and instinctive action and desire. The upcoming works are much more significant. In my upcoming works, I will be gradually expressing more of the key concept I want to convey: confrontation between ideality and rationality. Various characters that show my metaverse perspective on the world, including Milky Bobo, will finally appear. Right now, the most representative and the largest one of them is under preparation. The concept of confrontation between ideality and rationality is a key message in my physical art as well. Now, with an environment suitable for NFT art, I am pleased to be able to provide the audience with more three-dimensionality to enjoy my works. Please look forward to my upcoming works. You won't regret it.
Hello, I'm HyeGyung Kim and I worked on media art, taking ancient East Asian art history as the motif. I have continuously worked on creating interactive media, projection mapping, and media facade, based on ancient East Asian art history and traditional Korean culture, holding exhibitions both in Korea and abroad. I have also collaborated with various artists from area of traditional culture for an exhibition or performance, typically potters, hanbok designers, handcraftsmen, gayagun players, and dancers. There was great synergy each time, and it was a variable opportunity of inspiration for a new project. Media Enjoy with the People at Changdeok Palace is a media wall facade that recreated the cultural symbols instilled in Changdeok Palace into visual metaphor as digital media. Media The Jeweled Palace of Tranquil Extension is the work of projection mapping of Hanji lighting, where I collaborated with the Hanji craftsman Jeong Kim. The Jeweled Palace of Tranquil Extension is where Buddhist relic is enshrined. Hongdosa Temple, located in Yangsan, known as one of the Jeweled Palaces, is the theme of this project. Beyond Time and Space is a motion artwork that is played on 8 55-inch TVs. This work is made up of the letter painting of filial piety and brotherly love on top of the Chinese Qing Dynasty snuff bottle. The letter painting of filial piety and brotherly love is used 8 letters that mean filial duty, brotherly love, loyalty, faith, manners, honor, integrity, conscience, to express the ethic of Joseon, which was a Confucian society. The Chinese snuff bottle represents the extravagance of the Qing era. It can be likened a sports car or high-end watch in today's world. Through this work, I wanted to show how the gap between ethical ideology emphasized morality and human nature develops. Extravagance exists within human being both in the past and in the present, transcending time and space. Thank you for listening.
So asset mental is essentially a build up on top of Inter NFT. You can say it is more of an interface. And if you saw at the start of the presentation, I mentioned Mantle as a Shopify because it's a framework, and it can allow anyone to create their own marketplaces exclusively with their own implementation, or like it becomes very easy for them to choose and pick and choose what sort of format they want to do with NFTs, which sort of NFTs they want to create marketplace for. This is not just restricted to crypto art, collectibles, or domains as it is today in most of the ecosystems. You can create NFTs for any implementation, such as real world assets, music, whatever can be represented as an NFT can be accommodated into Mantle. So Mantle is a framework for NFT marketplaces. As a framework, Mantle would provide all the elements required to create individual marketplaces. It also facilitates creation, that is minting of interoperable NFTs, which can flow between different chains. So we're talking about, you can actually mint an NFT on Mantle at a very low gas fees and then transfer it to Ethereum and take it to, say, OpenSea or any other platform that allows you to list those NFTs. That makes the whole process very simple, which allows you to also take into account, you could have NFTs, you can mint all of them on Mantle, and based on your requirement, you can take them to Ethereum, you can take them to Solana, you can take them to Polkadot, you can take them to any other project in Cosmos ecosystem. That sort of flexibility is what we're trying to offer to the creators, that they shouldn't be limited by just one ecosystem. Wherever they find an opportunity, they should be able to take their NFTs, their creations in that environment. And Mantle can support all manners of NFTs, as I said, music, real world assets, crypto art, domains, collectibles. And in future, there's this idea that I have is that your time can be represented as NFTs, where you could fragment your calendar into the different slots, and each slot is unique because my Saturday morning is much more valuable than a weekday morning, because I want to do something separately on Saturday. It's free time. So if somebody has to take that, it was a unique offering. My evenings are different from my mornings. So that's time slot in evening is different from the morning. So that could be actually presented as an NFT. And you can also mint such NFTs on Mantle. Now, there's a very simple comparison that I want to draw between Mantle and OpenSea, which will allow the entire audience to understand how and what we are talking here. So when you talk about OpenSea, it can be compared as Amazon of NFTs. It's a consolidated marketplace where you can list your NFTs, and you can also create collections for NFTs. And it is very similar to how you can see on Amazon. You could create like collections for Apple products, for Samsung products, or say Motorola products. Like different classes can be defined, or collections can be defined, but you cannot create exclusive stores. And the other thing is, all the infrastructure or all the template is laid down by Amazon. You cannot actually change the interface, like the template of Amazon. You cannot pick your own payment options. You cannot do things like how you would want exclusively for your audience or customers. And that's where OpenSea has been also able to do. Similarly, how Amazon is such a huge market and allows anyone to come because they get everything in one place. OpenSea has done that phenomenally. If you look at OpenSea, I would say one project that I consider has given birth to the NFT marketplace as we see it today. It has allowed all different NFTs to come at one place. If I own any NFT, I can bring that there in the secondary market. So it consolidates. But now we are seeing more and more, say, artists have huge followings come into NFT space. Now, rather than listing their NFT on OpenSea, they want to get visibility for those through their own exclusive stores, because they do have that presence, and they can attract that sort of customers or buyers. But that becomes very difficult because the current infrastructure doesn't allow that very easily. It is very complex. One has to learn about the crypto first and then NFTs. And that's what the barrier we're trying to break. People don't need to learn crypto to interact with NFTs first. And that sort of will break also this entry barrier for the masses to come in. So that's why compare Asset Mantle to Shopify, which is like a framework to build your own permissioned or permissionless marketplace. So you can create permissionless as well as permissioned marketplaces also. If I want to have a very exclusive set of users or buyers of my NFTs, I can create a permission marketplace. If I want people from across the world without any restrictions come to my marketplace, I can create a permissionless marketplace. So this sort of flexibility allows that. The other one is that it allows creators to create a dedicated source, so they can actually create with different sorts of templates as per their ease, as per what they like, and they can also create like they can white label it in their own manner, or sorry to say, safe list is a better word. Safe list it in their own manner, so they can use Asset Mantle's infrastructure, but can build their own exclusive store with their own branding. And then there is custom payments option. They can use crypto as a payment option. They could use existing payment options such as credit card, debit cards. They can also use digital payment options such as Google Pay, Apple Pay. As we integrate more and more payment options, people will be able to pick and choose from those payment options. And the last one is that it supports all interoperability enabled chains. So if today I have to say, if you build a marketplace on Asset Mantle, you could actually interact with any IBC enabled chain. So it could be Akash, it could be Terra, it could be Persistence, it could be Iris, it could be Sentinel, Swift chain. All of those IBC enabled chains can be used as your market. So more and more chains get connected to interoperability protocols, more and more you can grow your market size. And that's what we're looking at when we're looking at NFTs market. We want to create, as an NFT enthusiast, I would want to actually see a market that is beyond boundaries of these networks or ecosystems. I shouldn't be just limited to Ethereum. I shouldn't be just limited to Cosmos. I shouldn't be just limited to Persistence. I should have an ability to move across markets. And that is so. To conclude, how you can actually get involved with the project. So you can look at our demo at demo.internft.org. This demo is a very rudimentary demo or implementation, which just gives you an idea. You could just play around, like different sorts of NFTs that you can create. You can, what sort of information or meta data you can mask, what all you want can include. So you can actually create your own fields for the metadata, which can accommodate, like, as I mentioned, like classes that you want to create a class such as Abhitej, you can create that class as Persistence, you can create that. And you can also read through our documentations, our working doc that we have created working with all these amazing projects. And then you can also join our working group just by going and signing up on internft.org. We do regular calls to update the community with what implementations we're doing. We also invite or encourage people to contribute. So if they have any ideas, we try to take account of those and then try to implement those. Implementation can be seen on github.com/internft. I've also provided a link to the reference implementations that we have worked upon with some of the other projects. And if you want to look at Persistence, you can go to persistence.one, where you can see about our entire ecosystem, what we are building. At Persistence, we are trying to build different applications, including P-Stake, which is bringing POS synthetic assets, or can say it is allowing liquid staking, which allows for POS assets to flow into DeFi and then growing the DeFi market. Similarly, what we are doing with Convex is bringing different commodities, synthetics, and synthetic assets, and those can then flow into DeFi. A huge use case for Convex is to bring real world commodities, synthetics into DeFi. And then with Asset Mentor, we're trying to bring NFTs. One is to create this interchain NFTs. And then the second thing is how to leverage those NFTs in different formats. One of those is NFTs plus DeFi. As it's getting more popular, the use cases are emerging. So we want to account for those use cases as well, where we would be able to bring NFTs into DeFi. So that's all in all. Thank you so much for your time. I want to thank all the organizers of this event, allow us to present this and make more and more people aware about the interchain world. Thank you.
Hello everyone, happy to be here with all of you, and thanks to the organizer Hando and Crypto Art League Asia for inviting me to this wonderful event. Today's talk is gonna be about building CryptoNet IP, but before that, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Riqi and I am the founder of Paras. My background is in technical computer science and I've been in the crypto industry since 2017. From the ICO rush, DeFi rush, and now we have the NFT gold rush. I built a lot of hackathon winning apps for various protocols like Near, Saya, and Blockstack. And in December 2020, I launched Paras, a digital card collectible marketplace. Paras is an NFT marketplace running on top of scalable Near protocol that focuses on card collectibles. Our goal is to expand the endgame of NFTs by supporting and developing crypto native IPs. From games to comics to toys, we support the creators to build their project from scratch and make their dream come true. So NFTs are growing and it grows very, very, very fast. In the past 6 months, we've seen a lot of news around NFTs and a lot of sales, a lot of big sales. From thousands of dollars up to millions of dollars were circulated in the NFT space. Collectors are buying digital art from big artists like Beeple. And this became the proof that digital art is here to stay because we have the supply and the demand. Everyone can now start selling their art creation and become a millionaire. Is it right? Sadly, no. Not everyone is making money in the NFT space because the artists that have made the news and got thousands and even millions of dollars are not just mere artists. They have brands, connections, followers, and fans. And obviously, they have really, really, really great art. So the bottom line is that not everyone is making money in the NFT space. So what should I do, right? As a creator, as an artist, what should I do in the space to make some money? Fortunately, we are still at the tip of the iceberg. NFT is not just about digital art. It is much more than that. As you can see from the image, we are still at the top of the iceberg, which is digital art. The NFT use case is digital art, but it is much more than that. It could be games, it could be comics, it could be films, or it could be anything else that we haven't explored or we're not even think about it yet. So right now, I believe we are at the transitional stage from pure digital art NFT into more of a interactive NFT kind of style. And I call it NFT 2.0, the Gen 2 of the NFT. And I believe the next wave will be about the crypto native IPs. So what is crypto native IP? It is basically every project ranging from games, comics, novels, films, toys, and anything else that is published originally on crypto and blockchain technology that generate revenue and become sustainable via the underlying technology, which is cryptocurrency and NFTs. And my take is that instead of trying to do a one-hit wonder and shoot for the moon in one try, why don't we just start small and build your brand, projects, and IP together? So like what we see in this first picture, it is someone that tries to sell one digital art for $1 million, and it is very hard, right? And instead of doing that, why don't we just sell 10,000 pieces of digital creations for like $100 each? And that sums up into $1 million. And that's the second picture. And that's what we're going to do. Like I mentioned earlier, digital art is not the end game of NFTs. It is much more than that. It is much more than that, and there are big markets and big opportunities out there for you to explore. And so yeah, I'm ready. You're ready. And how do I start my crypto native IP? First thing first is that you need to figure out what you want to create. You need to find out from your skill set, passion, and also the community. For example, if you love playing tabletop games, and you know a lot of different tabletop games, right? There are pros and cons. And I think this is a good start for you to think about. You can start brainstorming what kind of tabletop games that you wanted and not in the market right now. And so I think that's the first thing to do. You need to find idea and you need to do your research based on what you have. The second one is to create a plan. So now you need some strategic plan on how you can make your project to life. For example, you wanted to create a comic, then you might need to find a writer or an illustrator. Or if you wanted to build a game, then you need to find some game developers, right? So make sure you already have the fundamental concept, like the pitch for your idea, and pitch it to the other person. Try to talk with the other person. They could be your new team member, or they could be your potential customer. Remember to start small and grow it gradually. For example, we can start selling 3 NFTs that will be one of the first in-game items, and we can start building audience from that one. And I think it is a good way to start your crypto native IP because you can see, like you can test the water and see how enthusiastic your audience is. And last one is to grow it. Keep building your IP. You can add more story, add more features, and engage with your audience. You can also partner with other projects, find some investors, and even go to some competitions and try to make some news. And yeah, with that, you can actually start your crypto native IP with almost $0, zero cost, especially if you mint your NFTs in a scalable blockchain like Near and project like Paras. Remember, start small and grow it bigger. So yeah, the next step, very excited to show all these examples with all of you guys. We wanted to show you some examples of the crypto native IP building on top of Paras. I hope these examples can help you understand better about the crypto native IP and encourage you to make one. So the first one, we have Cryptera. Cryptera creators, which is Monstre, is a well-known artist in Paras. He creates a lot of multiple hit projects. He even creates something that something called CryptoPunk, not CryptoPunk, but Nearpunk, CryptoPunk equivalent in Near. And Cryptera is one of the early card games in Paras, and the gameplay is easy to follow and full of wondrous monsters. This is a card hunting game where you can buy booster pack to obtain 3 random cards and a chance to win special rewards in an auto tournament called Hunter's Duel. Each card will have its own power level and rarity, from common, rare, into to legendary. And Cryptera has been a hot topic in the Paras for the past few months. The combination of collecting NFTs and building competition, it bewitched a lot of collectors in Paras. The scale of Cryptera might be too early to predict, but I guess it is very promising. Cryptera is a tournament and for the card collectors, and you can also win some of the special NFTs if you win one of the tournament. So when you're craving for a monster and battles, Cryptera is something that you can enjoy. The second one is a project called Invasion of the Worms. It is a very unique project by Fiction Spawn. He is a flash fiction writer and also an illustrator based in Spain. And Invasion of the Worm is actually the first NFT-based story game that I've seen in the space right now. So how you can play it? It's very simple. You just purchase one NFT, which is the top left one, the first one. It is kind of like a gateway to the world. So you just buy it, just like buying some coin and play in a naked, right? So after you purchase the NFT, you'll be given a choice of a path that you should take in the game. So pretty much like choose your own adventure kind of game. So each time you choose path, you will receive new NFT that represents your next stage. And each choice will put you in a different path. You might be in the right path and win the game and get some prize, right? Some cool NFT. Or you might be in the wrong path and got eaten by a monster. Right now, it is a very simple game, but think about what we can do in the future, right? What this IP, what this big concept can be. For example, maybe we can create NFT-based visual novel game in the future. That will be awesome, right? And the next one and the last one, and it's actually like one of the biggest project on Paras since day one. It is Immortal Flame series by Vita Squid. So Vita Squid is an artist actualizing his work, his project from 10 years ago. So he created his art. He created this art as a means to fund expansion of the project into a novel series. Not only is visual top notch, but the story is also enrich the collections. Just look how good it is. And yeah, Paras just came in time when he was waiting for a way to introduce his art to the world. Now Vita Squid already sold maybe around 200 plus cards in the Paras and gained around $5,000 in revenue. And yeah, it's very simple. He wants to create his own fantasy universe. So start small. He wants to create his own fantasy universe by, from his liking of MMORPGs, films, animes, and books. And it grows, it grows, it grows. It's getting bigger. The project is still ongoing with more characters and a world to see and read. We all should expect something grand from Immortal Flame series in the future. From the examples, we've shown you like the possibilities of what you can build in the NFT space. There are big opportunities, and the only requirement is to be creative. And I believe all of you here are. Think about it, like the crypto and blockchain technology has just disrupted the art industry with the NFTs. And there are more spaces, there are more verticals that we can all disrupt. It can be games, it can be comics, it can be novels, it can be IPs, it can be anything else. And if you start now, you might become one of the first players there and start the whole revolution from you. And that's gonna be big, that's gonna be awesome. And you know what? We actually have the same idea. So let's team up and we love to hear about your project. It could be anything, games, novels, comics, or anything else. Tell us, you tell us what you want to build. And we're opening a partnership programs that will fund your work for up to $25,000. And we'll be working with you closely from the designs, from the mechanics, from the strategy until go to market. And we all start small and we'll grow it all together with you. So I have my email here. So just shoot me an email for your project and tell me what you wanted to build. What is your dream? So let's expand the endgame of NFT together and start small and grow together with us. Hopefully we can achieve something bigger in the future. Yeah, I think that's it for now about building the crypto native IP. Hopefully it is something that you guys are interested in. Thank you for listening. And once again, let's start to build your crypto native IP. Chai, cheers.
안녕하세요, 모니카입니다. 반갑습니다. Hi everyone, I'm Monika and I work at Mintbase. Mintbase is the NFT factory, so we do minting, we have a marketplace, but you can also build on top of Mintbase using Mintbase.js. So using your own branding, but our code. And yeah, we've been live on Ethereum for more than a year and a half, but recently expanded to Near protocol. And one of the big reasons for that was the very high gas fees and transaction fees. And Nate's actually going to talk about more why we chose Near in a little bit, wherein he's also going to showcase Mintbase.js. So we want to see people using NFTs more. As cool as it is that people mint their artworks and, you know, there's a market for it, people are buying it, we want to see people actually using the NFTs. So we're showcasing this in Germany at the Wilde Merit Festival over the coming month, where you can you burn an NFT and receive beer for that using a QR code. So that's super cool. We also see very big potential in VR and in gaming. All of our users get a VR gallery, and Louis, one of our engineers, is going to talk more about that as well. Yeah, I'm going to showcase the platform now, and I hope you enjoy. Welcome to the most powerful NFT protocol, Mintbase.io. We currently have 345 stores. More than 78,000 NIR has been earned. More than 18,000 tokens have been minted. We have 800 minters. We have more minters in store because you can add minters to your store. I'll showcase this in a little bit. And yeah, more than 14,000 tokens are currently listed on the marketplace. Here are some of the live auctions, some of the stores. This is the NFT that can be redeemed for a real beer at the Wilde Merit Festival. Tiny transaction fees. It actually cost 7 NIR to deploy a store, which is about $14. But to mint, transfer, and list is less than a cent, less than a penny. It's very fast and decentralized. And we also have these new features such as forever royalties. Basically, the royalties are embedded into the token, and you can split this with more than 25 people. You can also split the revenue share with as many people as 25 or 40. And Mintbase takes 2.5% of the sales. Let me show you the Wilde Merit store. Yes, and here is the Wildeverse store. We've added more than 70 artists to this contract, and it's been very exciting to see this project grow.
Hi, I'm Nate Geyer, co-founder of Mintbase, and we're about to do a really quick deep dive into what we just built on NIR. It's pretty advanced. I'm pretty excited to be building on Rust, on the WASM compiler, and to have a system where we can do a ton of internal transactions, which we're leveraging really highly with split revenues and the royalty system. So up to 25 accounts all can get funded from a single purchased NFT, which is nearly impossible to do on most other chains, especially Ethereum. We chose NIR. We wrote an article, a pretty in-depth look at Matic. We looked at XDAI. We looked at a lot of other chains. The biggest decision was the fact that we think Rust is more the future than what Solidity is. So what we're seeing right now is a lot of humans are comfortable and have already built things on Solidity. It doesn't make it the better technology. So I kind of related to, yes, there's more developers building with jQuery versus React, but we're choosing the React because we see in the future a lot of developers will want to start jumping into the Rust ecosystem. Okay, so here is the new system on NIR. We're really focused on purposeful NFTs, and what that actually means is we want to see NFTs being burned, transferred, traded, listed, delisted, moved around the ecosystem as fluidly as a text, and having very cheap transactions has made it big for us. So you can see it's a pretty big ecosystem, and we're now starting to really put all the puzzle pieces together. But basically, we are a minting platform where you can come in, deploy your own smart contract. This is what we call a store. You can see I'm managing 3 different stores right through here. We have a minter where you can create the assets, where we can add your royalties, we can add your split revenues. This is a probably deeper topic we'll go into another day, but basically split revenues gets reset every single time you resell it, and royalties every single time it gets bought. So if we come in, we have an area where we can actually list to the marketplace. If we come in, we have all these different buttons. It might be confusing at first, but once you see that there's only 4 buttons, you'll get the hang of it pretty quick. We can airdrop tokens, we can list items for sale, we can do simple sales where if they put in 22 near, automatically the NFT will get transferred. We have an auction system where when you list it, folks can actually come in and bid on your item. So if we actually come into here, we can see on one of Reva Taylor's auctions, Mintbase put in 0.2 near into the system, and Monika Blockdiver put in 5 near on top of that, which actually booted the 0.2 near back at me. The lister can always pull and take this 5 near whenever she wants, and we can always make more offers on top of that. We can do everything we do on code. So if you would actually like to mint and transfer and do all these things from a vending machine or whatever it is that you're programming, you can come in here. We use this library directly on Mintbase.js. If you're used to TypeScript, dive into that world. Every single function within here can actually show you what you need to do to interact. You can see we have burn, we have lists, we have mint more tokens. You can dive into that later. If you just want to get data that is running off of our own indexer, which means as soon as you do something on the chain, we basically save that in a readable state on our indexer. You can come in here and put in this URI, and you can get all the information that our system gets. So here's all the different latest stores. We can get what things are on the store. We can get what tokens are on the store. Pretty big. And that is the base. So basically we just launched 2 weeks ago, and now we're ever growing, and we're really excited about this part because if you ever launch, you just need to launch with all the bugs. And now we're slowly getting better every single day, and we're excited to see what everyone.
I'm a developer at Mintbase, and yeah, I mostly work with front end, bit of back end, and yeah, that's what I'm currently doing at Mintbase. And I have strong interest in virtual reality and also crypto, of course. Yeah, a couple months ago, I was building games within the Oculus ecosystem, and I got a bit annoyed by Oculus policies, and I started looking more seriously to the web side of things. And having this NFT passion for so long, it made total sense to merge both worlds together, and that's why I started like building tools and like these spaces for giving people that own NFTs the ability to yeah, showcase in virtual spaces. So that's how it all started. At first, it was mostly like a world builder, but then I realized that for me, it's kind of easy to code and make these things. But for most people, it isn't. It consumes time, right? So I just really would like to give the ability for everyone to, with simple clicks, to generate spaces with things. Yeah, for sure. Let me show you how it's going to look. Let me first select one store, DAO Records, in the landing page. And here, this is the Mintbase store page. And if you click here on this button that says Virtual Gallery, you are redirected to DAO Records Virtual Gallery. Yes, now we're at DAO Records Virtual Gallery, as you can see. And these are some of the works that were minted through the store. Let's pick one, like this one is an audio NFT. And if you wait a bit, the music should start loading. Should play it.
There she is. Did you have sex with her? Tell me, did you do?
And this, you can see the name, you can see who minted this NFT, and for every single NFT, you can see that. So all of these, I think, were minted by DAO Records, but yeah, multiple like other galleries may show different names under the minter. Right, and this is Buildverse gallery. You can see some of the latest NFTs minted. And yeah, if we come close to this one, just load. And I like it so much that I want to get immersed into this NFT. So I will join, I will click it, and it will open a new page in which I will get the description here, and I can just get close to it, appreciate in space this movie record. Back in college, I started working in 3D. It was my first project ever, was building a model visualizer for a 3D printer. And ever since then, I got very interested in 3D on the web. Then I did my master thesis in 3D visualization for data of ocean exploration. And then VR. VR was obvious for me, like really like the immersive aspect of these 3D spaces. And yeah, now I'm trying to merge both crypto and VR together.
Hi, I'm Colin Platt, CEO of Unifty.io. We are a multi-blockchain platform to help you NFT creators build and create sustainable businesses using NFTs, adding utility, functionality, and their own white labeled marketplaces to NFTs. We believe that ultimately this will help a whole wealth of new creators, inventors, innovators to come into the blockchain space without needing to have necessarily specialized skills working inside of NFTs and inside of blockchains, being able to create on top of these. This is super important because we believe the next stage of the economy is built around creators and built around their new talents. What we've typically seen is we have a number of very talented, very skilled creators who have their own abilities, talents, and communities that they want to better interact with. And they see these new tools like NFTs. Now, historically, it's been very hard for them to get in and do anything that adds any value. What this means is we see a lot of people coming in with that kind of first layer understanding and knowledge of NFTs, working on open platforms, but that are somewhat centralized. What we enable them to do is launch their own smart contracts, launch their own platforms built in a way that they control, not us, not any third party, but they control to interact with their communities and help add value. Now, in addition to just creating, minting an NFT, the next thing they can do is they can add functionality and utility. Now, we pioneered customized blockchain NFT farms. What this means is I can stake a token. This could be any kind of Ethereum ERC-based ERC20 based token, sorry, and extend this out to allow somebody to stake it, somewhat like DeFi, and redeem that for NFTs created on the creator's platform. All of this is built in smart contracts. Now, we've talked a bit about Ethereum, but of course, we are multi-blockchain. We're currently based off of 7 in-production platforms, of which Celo, which let's talk about today. We made this choice to move onto the Celo platform because of its ability to engage with a wide variety of communities, particularly in emerging markets. We've seen a lot of appetite and a lot of demand to do this in Africa, as well as across Asia and South America, South and Central America. The goal here is to bring an entirely new set of consumers, creators, people to interact with the global economy. We believe this is an extremely powerful idea, and when matched with the creative talents that we have in these markets as well as elsewhere, we create a whole new avenue for these people to build businesses. We believe this will help extend their opportunities to interact, have consumers, have customers around the world in a two-way fashion. Now, this is very different from what you can see historically, where everybody was relying on larger, centrally controlled Web 2, Web 0 infrastructure to move into this Web 3 world where they can interact and build their own economies. Now, in order to do that, you of course need your own payment system, which is where Celo comes in. Celo offers fast, very cheap transactions to these consumers that are fit to build their needs, built on mobile first approaches. And also this helps us extend so that anything could be sold into a secondary market afterwards. That's extremely important because what you often see is it's not only the creators themselves, but there's a number of other participants that come to the market that help deliver value, but then again, need to curate collections and bring this to the wider economy. We've seen this quite a bit happen on our platform and elsewhere. We may have a creator based in, let's say, East Africa or in Brazil, create something, bring it to the platform. Somebody finds this and they want to bring this to a wider audience. They buy from the creator, they help sustain their business, and they build a secondary business on top to interact with a local regional market. We've seen a lot of this done with consumers in Asia who are very interested in how they can interact with new upcoming artists in places that they wouldn't necessarily have been able to access before. All of this is an extremely unique opportunity. We think that it's powered first and foremost by new digital tools like blockchains, like tokens, specifically NFTs, to interact with these amazing new talents or amazing talents that we didn't even have access to. All of this is hopefully bringing more and more opportunities to more and more people around the planet. What we would love to see is the next artist come from a new market and be able to build a whole new community in, let's say, South Korea, accessing new talent, accessing new tools. Now, we've talked about this a bit as it pertains to somebody like an artist. We've also seen this extremely popular concept come up in gaming. What's very different now between NFTs and what came before is it was very hard to provably own something inside of a game, much less sell it on to somebody else. Now, there was some trading done in skins, but generally you would need to go to the game developer for permission. With NFTs, we have a whole new wealth of opportunities where I can own part of a game. I can own a metaverse. I can own land. I can own skins inside of a game. And it's all held behind an NFT. Now, this is an extremely powerful idea when you couple it with more traditional type financial instruments where we can borrow money to buy virtual land. We can loan it out to somebody if they want to use a virtual event for a venue. Having these virtual conferences is a perfect idea. If this could be done through DeFi type lending protocols built on the back of NFTs, that's an extremely powerful idea that's brought about in a way that we couldn't really easily access before, and certainly not in a trustless manner. All of this is really at the core of what Unifty wants to do. We want to build not only NFT infrastructure that allows us to create NFTs, trade NFTs, but we want to do this in a way that is sustainable and adds utility. Now, we know there's a lot of these utilities that are common and they need to be built in a way where people can interact with them safely. That is really our goal, building infrastructure in a safe manner that works wherever it needs to work, for whichever community it needs to work, for all the products that it needs to cover. We believe it's an extremely powerful idea, and we welcome everyone to come join us, find out more about the Unifty platform at unifty.io, get involved with our community, try to mint your own NFTs, and hey, while you're at it, why not try farming? Why not try setting up your own marketplaces? The next step, we really believe, is coming off some of these larger centralized marketplaces and into these white label marketplaces, allowing creators big and small to match with their own needs, their own communities, in their own marketplaces that are only bringing what they want, curated in the way they want. We've seen a ton of interest from large companies, from small creators to come in and do just that. And we try to offer an affordable way where this can be done. Now, we've talked a lot about Celo, and we've talked about all the advantages there. We also offer this inside of Ethereum. We offer this on Binance Smart Chain. We offer this on XDAI, on Polygon, on Avalanche, and on other platforms where you can come in, you can try these, you can move them across. Now, once you have something in a blockchain, whether it's Celo or someplace else, you may also have a need to move it across blockchains. Unifty has unique bridges to allow you to move an ERC 1155 type NFT token from one blockchain to the next. This is extremely powerful. We've done some work with conferences that wanted to bring their own NFTs to their event. After the event, people wanted to bring them into another blockchain where they could be sold into a more traditional marketplace on Ethereum. They could be brought into another blockchain so they can add and build on top of them. These things become components that can be composable. And on top of that, people can innovate. They can build their own NFT ideas. They can combine and collaborate. They can add additional functionality. We think all of these things will bring about a renaissance in the way that people interact with digital assets, both more traditional digital assets that existed before cryptocurrencies and blockchains, things like these virtual game skins, things like other type of digital collectibles, and our newfound abilities with smart contracts to extend what can be done. Now, we've also broke into the world of the Polkadot ecosystem. We've been working with Moonbeam, and we'll be on the Moonbeam and Moonriver testnets that are coming to Polkadot proper, as well as the Kusama ecosystem. We're extremely excited about what's going to happen inside the Polkadot ecosystem and all of the new innovations happening there. It obviously has a very unique individual idea around the types of communities that want to interact with Polkadot. We believe that NFTs will be very core to that. We're helping support a number of projects. We have over 750 different projects working on top of our platforms across our product suite, with more than 25,000 interactions in the last few months on top of our products. In addition to that, there's a number of another whole slew of people that we can't even count because they're working on top of the infrastructure we provided. We believe it's extremely powerful idea. And we also believe this can enable a whole new area of the economy that we're super excited about servicing. So thank you very much for coming to our talk today. We hope that you can meet us in our virtual world, and we hope to see you soon at Unifty.io.
Hello everyone, I'm Emma Park. I'm currently serving as Head of Communications at DSRV. Prior to joining DSRV, I was a brand strategist at Jeil, an in-house marketing agency of Samsung, and I work for one of the biggest tech corporations in Korea, including Samsung Electronics, Kakao, and KT. Personally, I'm very interested in how blockchain technology will play a role when the digital native world comes in. And I believe we are definitely witnessing the growth of the crypto ecosystem and NFTs, exploding into mainstream consciousness in recent months. As I'm representing DSRV, it is very delightful to be a speaker of MetaSol 2021 in that respect, and thank you again for having me. In terms of the best place to start, I'd like to share the overview of who DSRV is and why it is so meaningful for us to participate in this conference as one of the main sponsors to empower the new creators and builders of NFTs. First of all, DSRV is a tech-driven validator company and an infrastructure provider dedicated to supporting multi-chain, including Near, Celo, and Persistence, who are playing a significant role in building the metaverse and creating NFTs, and also the keynote speakers of today's marketplace session. Much like AWS has become synonymous with public cloud computing, DSRV is working to become the infrastructure backbone for blockchain. We always live by the philosophy of proof of contribution, with our mission to empower the crypto ecosystem by offering reliable and secure infrastructure. Secondly, MetaSol's vision to enable creators and collectors to come together for a healthier and more diverse ecosystem deeply resonated with us. I like to share the vision statements MetaSol and DSRV have in common with you, and to highlight 3 aspects of DSRV as a supporter and contributor of top blockchain networks. First, DSRV as an enabler to unlocking the possibilities. As pictured in this page, one of the visions of MetaSol is based on blockchain technology, artists can utilize NFT as proof of ownership over digital creations. DSRV has a strong track record of contributing to the growth of blockchain networks to enable creators and builders to transcend the boundaries using blockchain technology to achieve more. As NFTs promise artists a new way to connect with their audience, DSRV aims to create new opportunities for builders by providing a sort of easy-to-use infrastructure products and services on multiple blockchains. DSRV as a key player of blockchain scene in Seoul. MetaSol imagines a city where digital art creators and collectors work together to transcend the limits of Seoul's physical spaces. Well, starting off as a group of community members of Nons, a grassroots community based in Seoul for those who share the belief of creating a healthier blockchain ecosystem. DSRV is deeply connected to the very core of Korean blockchain community. The team is backed by some of the largest corporations in South Korea, including KB Investment, Samsung, and Naver. We believe Seoul is a very creative city and it is full of really creative talents. And we are very excited to build connections in Seoul to bolster creative minds through blockchain technology. And last but not least, DSRV is a Sherpa for your expedition to Web 3.0. We believe that the Web 3.0 decentralization will be founded upon blockchains. And at its core, Web 3.0 is attempting to empower organizations and individuals. DSRV has a team of experienced engineers that is already providing services to a diverse range of global clients. Besides our proven competencies as an experienced validator, DSRV has earned a reputation for a growth partner by providing technological contributions ranging from browser extension wallets, performance monitoring dashboards, staking analytics, explorers, and more. DSRV will continuously support the creators and builders who are fully committed to enhancing the blockchain and NFTs ecosystem as we keep focusing on creating synergy through collaborations. Well, this is the end of our session, and it was really great opportunity for us to share the detailed information and vision with you and to interact with everyone in this session. Thank you again for watching this video and thank you for your time. Bye.
Work Hard Finance is a DAO framework which unlocks on-chain project management, fair compensation, and governance. Workers are compensated with stablecoins that have the added benefit of converting into liquid stock options. Those who truly believe the long-term vision can activate their beliefs by locking their stock option to receive dividends and voting rights. Visit workhard.finance today.
Hello everyone, welcome to the session for AI network and intelligence NFT. Let me quickly share my screen before we start. Okay, here it goes. AI network is our project name and we call it the Internet for AI. My name is Minhyun and our homepage is ainetwork.ai, so feel free to visit and see the details after the presentation. Okay, what we're trying to do is can be simply explained here. Left picture shows that the developers can interact with open source such as GitHub to share their code. In Web 2.0, we call it open source, right? And the problem happens when this guy starts to upload their code to AWS and operate the service with a very large cost, like 50K on average. AI is very expensive. So in this world, the developers must be rich and also smart. So that rarely happens. That's why AI development is quite slow, especially in open source world. Most of them are led by large corporations because of this cost. Okay, and then the left or right side, you see the AI network here. So what we are trying to do is to expand this protocol to this level, and we call it Web 3.0. And we also call it open resource. So in this world, it's magically developers doesn't have to take any risk in deploying the AI solutions on the internet. So this so far, this is the internet for AI. Okay, and so then where this 50K went, it's not disappeared. It went to here. We call it open resource providers. So basically what this protocol does is that it decouples developers from these resources. So anyone can contribute their resources. Resource includes model, data, GPUs, anything that developer needs for operating AI can be shared. And because of those contributions, when the service become popular and starts get revenue, there must be a smart contract that says, oh, you guys have this much contribution, so you deserve this revenue share. So in this world, everyone is happy. Developers can focus on publishing as many good AI as possible, and resource providers just focus on picking the right solution, which will be very popular in the future. And our network is growing very fast. We acquired around 300 GPUs so far. This is the very large size, especially for startups. And none of the startups operate this much GPUs unless they are a unicorn. And this red bar shows that we have 1/10 GPUs are organic, which means it is coming from the contributions. And also there are many models we have. So we are acquiring open models and open data, and it's growing very fast. And another point we'd like to prove is that as these contributions increase, we need to be able to say, hey, our sales and the costs are getting larger, and costs is getting sales are getting larger, and costs are getting smaller. So in these diagrams, until the previous year, we were mostly paying for GPU costs by ourselves, but we start getting revenues, which means we have a usage, and then it's actually more than what GPU cost is so far, especially after these GPU contributions have started. Okay, and so what is Web 3.0? Where we are going now? So basically AI network is an extension of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then AI network. So it basically says we are common computer, which is similar to world computer, but has more computing power on it. And in Web 3.0, as you all know, there's NFT and there's metaverse, and there will be lots of AIs on the metaverse, and AI network can be the backbone for those use cases. Okay, then let's move on to INFT, intelligence NFT. So Chris Dixon said that NFTs are blockchain-based records that uniquely represent pieces of media. The media can be anything digital, including art, videos, music, GIFs, game, text, memes, and code. This part is really interesting, and I'd like to add plus AI and plus Minhyun, right? And evolution of NFTs. So far, we are saying static images are arts, and it's very commonly seen in cafe or galleries. You see these static images in offline, and you can also see lots of GIFs and videos are uploaded in OpenSea these days. And this guy, Alicia AI, our idea is that even the intelligent characters can be NFT. Then let's say what's the difference between code and intelligence? This slide can simply explain what AI is. So code, it's really about computer. Computers is about input and output. You put input, you get output. You put 1 + 1, you get 2. It's really computes the values, right? And even the complex program has the deterministic input and deterministic output. And what machine learning does that it moves the output into the input field. So you put input and output together, and computer generates program, which is another input and output generator. So in this world, you are only able to control input and output, and you don't have to code, actually. In theory, you don't have to code. And this program is the code. And what happens after that is that this program interacts with the world and collects another data, and this data input and output goes into computer again. So the main difference is that this feedback loop changes this program's behavior. If it's deployed with smart contract, this will change forever because the world is changing forever, right? So intelligence and code is basically, it's all about feedback and this loop. So intelligence changes as the world changes. That's the main difference. So by this principle, you can say software 1.0 is code written by humans. Our imagination is the boundary of the code written so far. But after software 2.0, code written by data will be a lot of will have a lot of traction because it's much easier to give data instead of thinking about a whole design. And let's say INFT is also really easy to create according to this principle. And let's quickly experience what INFT looks like. This is GPT-3 interface provided by OpenAI. Okay, so code written by the data, what does it mean? You can simply type any text here. You don't have to code. You can type the text. Let's say I want to communicate with chatbot. Then I can explain what chatbot I would like to communicate with, and I will say AI network is a very friendly, smart chatbot, and it will change the world. It is blockchain project that helps developers write AI without worrying about operational costs. Okay, that sounds really great. And then I can interact with this definition. This is very short sentence, but it already creates what AI network is, I believe. And let's ask, what is AI network? This is a really simple question because I already thought, what is it? AI stands for artificial intelligence. It has a computer storage, some people are thinking like human. Okay, let's say this. What is AI network? Oh, doesn't work like this. Let's change your data a little bit. So as you can see, I'm not doing any code. I'm just changing data to make expected behavior here. It's loading. Let's try it again. So making it more affordable to everyone. And allows developers to use data for instance open source decentralized platforms. You can pay their own costs such as computing, storage, and data instead of paying expensive fees. At the same time, it gives owners of data a new way to monitor their data while protecting their privacy. Oh, this is a really good definition. It's even more detailed than what I explained here, but there might be some wrong components, so I can modify a little bit. AI is making AI more affordable for everyone. It's true. AI allows developers to use data from existing from open source decentralized platform. The developers pay for their own costs such as contributors pay for developers, data, and shares revenues. At the same time, it gives owners of data unit professor. Okay, I like this one. You can ask anything, like where do you live? It doesn't say anything about it, but this whole sentence start from beginning changes it. Oh, I live on blockchain. Okay. Say what is the purpose of the life? Let's say what is the purpose of AI? The purpose is to make life easier and to make it possible along and more quickly accurate than ever before. Okay, I like this. So to make INFT, I can simply copy and paste this core data. I can call it, this is technically called prompt, and I can also call it persona or DNA of the data. And so if you upload this much to OpenSea, then it becomes INFT. It's really simple, right? So this is the end of our presentation, and I hope lots of INFT coming to the NFT world from now on. And also AI network will be the main use cases for INFT, I hope. Okay, thank you, and see you someday in Metaverse. Bye.
Hello, welcome to the DAO Tooling and Future Employment fireside chat. I have here with me Cutshamache from Work Hard Finance, a DAO tooling suite, and would really love to kind of get to know more about you, Cutshamache, and hear more about what Work Hard Finance does and the tooling suite that it can provide. And then we can kind of continue the conversation from there as we learn more about it.
Greetings, world. My name is Cutshamache Pennacook. I think it's the first time I've emerged from my cave. That is the Work Hard Finance Discord. It's a pleasure to meet everyone. Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Metasol, for allowing us to present. Work Hard Finance in a nutshell is we wanted several of us that started while we are Anon. We wanted to get past a lot of the bullshit that we faced previously, either during employment or during startups. And one of the hardest parts that we thought was just negotiating over stock options and also over salaries. We were trying to think, is there a fair way for employees to be compensated properly? I think we see a lot of this stuff happening in the world right now with Airbnb and Uber trying to compensate their employees both in cash, but also in stock options. Excuse me, not their employees, but people that use their platform. And we kind of we started thinking about, if we're coming into a world where everything is task-based, is there a way that we can make stock options more liquid than what they are now? And so we created a 3-tier system that puts the choice of how an employee is to be compensated, whether in the short term or in the medium to long term, solely in the hands of the worker. And that's what you have with Work Hard Finance.
Awesome. Yeah, I was taking a look at the website, and it's like very reminiscent of some, I guess, industrial age America. I was just curious, where was the kind of concept for this artwork and I guess the branding for Work Hard Finance come from? I was just curious. So
We are quite firm believers in hypercapitalism, and especially after COVID, people have been talking a lot about where we've all got onto a time machine and we've kind of been catapulted into time. But the place that we landed is more reminiscent of 18th century, where there is no separation between work and life balance. And we just started talking about, several of us work in various DAOs, and some of us have full-time jobs along with part-time jobs. And we just thought, at the end of the day, if it is all hyper-capitalistic up in the metaverse, then all you got to do is prove yourself using your task, and you got to work hard. And we started thinking about what kind of people we know in history who's worked incredibly hard and stumbled across the Puritan work ethic.
Nice. Yeah, I was looking at some of the box. I'm in the home page, and I think there's 3 specific token types. But before I go into that, I definitely, as I'm one of the organizers and part of HanDAO, the Korea's first DAO that's been doing a lot of stuff in the NFT and metaverse ecosystems, and the tooling choices that we were looking at HanDAO were so varied in terms of how to encourage and incentivize continued work and engagement that we had with our community, because there's hundreds of people that we have in our Discord, but then how many actually realistically engage and contribute to the DAO beyond maybe some of the venture DAO subcomponents. So, and also in kind of my day job at Stakefish and F2 Pool, the ability and the idea of being able to incentivize good behavior that is basically ingrained into the Bitcoin ethos. As an example, miners mine because they want to make profit, and then the side effects of that, their profit generation, is all of the decentralized consensus that we all love to enjoy. So I definitely really like the ethos of being able to incentivize people to work and engage in DAOs, and I would assume on-chain projects, and very eager to hear more from yourself, how that works. Maybe I'm looking at the WTF is WHF page, but yeah, if you can walk me through what the commit token is, the vision token is, and then the right token is, and how that kind of falls into the guidelines of it's, I guess, incentivizing good behavior in DAOs and engagement.
Sure. We first thought that we're going to need some sort of stablecoin, but instead of spinning up a brand new stablecoin, why don't we just use DAI, which already exists? And commit tokens is basically our stablecoins to tokenize our revenue stream. And we wanted whoever was to use Work Hard Finance as their DAO tool to have some method of fairly compensating their workers for either their hours, or maybe it's a month-to-month basis, whatever it may be. Interesting part about commit is there's 2 ways to earn commit. You can either buy commit for $2, so it's capped at max of $2, or you can earn commit, right? So let's say an organization, their revenue for the month is 10K. So they would take 10K worth of DAI. They would put that in their treasury, and then they can go ahead and mint 10K worth of commit. So in essence, that commit is pegged one to one with the DAI, so it'll remain at $1. But there might be people who think the DAO is interesting, and they might want to have some sort of commit to participate in the various activities within the DAO. So then they would buy it at $2, which is twice the market value. So through this, we're incentivizing work over just having money to throw around.
Yeah, rather than passive. Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so our next token is our vision tokens. And vision tokens they're basically the liquid stock options for your project. And so in order to go from commit to vision, we use a mechanism called burn mining or commit mining. What it is you take your commit and you burn your commit. And while you are burning your commit, you get to liquidity mine some of the newly emitted and newly minted vision. And the moment you stop commit mining, then all of your existing commit are burned, and then you receive all of your vision rewards that you've previously mined. So vision tokens were a way for us to say, okay, you have all this commit that you can always redeem at the stablecoin pool, but from the owner's perspective or from the project lead's perspective, if people, like they usually say the employees know like where the organization's headed the best, right? So if I'm an employee or I'm a worker, and I look at the organization, I see that the organization doesn't really have a bright future, then maybe that month I'm just going to redeem everything in commits. But maybe I know that there's some sort of launch coming up and that the organization might pump, right? Or the tokens, there is some sort of future value that has yet to be reflected in the markets. And then in that case, I can take a portion of my commits. I can decide how much that might be, where I can carry over commits that are received previously, and I can commit mine that over into vision, and then that'll be my liquid stock option. Right? Once you go over into vision, you can either become an LP at the vision ETH, become a vision ETH LP over at SushiSwap or say Uniswap. That'll also net you some extra emitted vision tokens. And then finally, vision by itself isn't the end all say all. So vision has a very, just like any other stock option, it has speculative value, right? So sometimes depending on how well people think the organization is going, vision might be more expensive than yesterday. So what you do with vision is, if you really, really believe that your organization is headed in the right direction, then you can stake and lock your vision for what we call rights. And rights are, when you're holding rights, you get one, if the organization decides to give out dividends, you get airdrop dividends depending on how much rights you hold. Second thing is you get voting rights on any kind of proposals that the organization is seeking to pass. And then thirdly, if the organization decides to spin off some child DAOs, rights get you first in line for some good airdrop tokens of the child DAO. I know that's quite a mouthful, and it's pretty complicated, but yeah, there's like nuances in between there.
Yeah, so I guess, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the way that work hard finance is kind of structured is to encourage and I guess crypto economically incentivize DAO members or on-chain project members to actually put in work and engagement, and commit is kind of like the on-ramp for that, so that long-term believers, I guess, would be able to get the vision token and then eventually the right token to have pure governance. And like having the right token is kind of like you went through the ring of fire, or not the ring of fire, you went through like the work so that you have a seat at the table. It seems like, is that kind of a good way of
Absolutely. So we believe in sweat equity the most, and then you can buy it. But what we want to avoid the most is just complete speculation, where you did not do any kind of work and you're sitting there for other people to do the work for you. So those kind of things we wanted to disincentivize, not through slashing or through punishment, but just the fact that we put in a couple of obstacles, so it's hard for you to get to the pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow.
Yeah, I think it's so fascinating because, right, especially with like what we've seen, there's so many DAOs popping up, and there's like this huge spectrum of how DAOs are managed and what is fair for a DAO to kind of compensate or distribute in terms of profit and rewards. And having like tooling systems like this that are just like natively integrated into DAOs and projects is, I think, super cool. What immediately I was reminded of is similar to how 0x protocol powers like so much of like the exchanges that we have today. I really feel like Work Hard Finance is basically the 0x protocol for DAOs. Like all the DAOs should be able to like use this to be able to activate and engage their communities and have more efficient ways of doing things. So yeah, I don't know if that's something that you guys had in mind of doing, but or the comparison, but yeah, that's what it reminded me of. So I think we're about. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say the first DAO framework that's leading the pack right now is obviously DAO House, with Moloch DAO being the logic that powers everything. But a closed membership, there's several disadvantages to a permission membership. I think we eventually want to get to a permissionless state, but right now all the curation needs to be done at the community level in some way. The other extreme of like completely permissionless membership that kind of got out of hand, I believe, is DXDAO. But yeah, Work Hard, and then there's the social tokens things where you can always buy social tokens to get into some sort of token gated community, right? But what we were thinking of is we thought of striking a course somewhere in between those two, where it's not completely permissionless. You can always work to get in instead of having to pay money up front. But at the same time, we wanted some sort of smart contract enforcement to be there, and for there to be and for the smart contract to be reflective of the business logic that exists in existing organizational structures.
Awesome. Yeah, this is so cool, man. I definitely am going to be looking more into this and seeing if like HonDAO can kind of play around with it as well. But thank you so much for your time, Cutshamache. I think I'm saying it correctly. And yeah, looking forward to seeing like what you guys continue to do and some of the examples that you guys have. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, this is Chanjae Park, and I'm founder and CEO of AI-generated music technology-based record production company. It's called Enterarts. And also a co-founder of Snowdack, which is the first NFT marketplace in Korea. So in 2018, our company launched an AI record label called A.I.M, Arts in Mankind. So we produced and released 14 K-pop albums produced through a collaboration between AI and human musicians, and releasing more than 1,000 songs composed by our AI engine. AI currently produces a background music in just a few seconds, and it produces about 2,000 songs per day, like 3-minute songs. So I think the level of this music can be created when a high school kids who has a talent in the music and learned and compose and arrange music for 3 or 4 or 5 months. That's a level of AI music that's creating right now. And I have experienced it and tried different content and service based on this technology. So in the pop music scene, which leads the music industry on like an economic scale and all a different kind of scale, it's a biggest industry for the music. So K-pop AI music has been released through the collaboration with our company singer or the singers, like a famous singer from outside, and also human musician and you know, mixing engineer and mastering engineer. So pop music project definitely need a collaboration with human. So since AI has yet to make enough music to be on chart, Recently, however, the level of music that AI generated has been increased quite a bit, and there is a kind of music that AI makes well, like very mechanical and accurate music is good for AI. So on these days, I'm commercializing music that AI makes, rather than trying to follow and make sounds like a human's music. So we plan to make 300,000 songs with the vocal edit at the end of this year, and make a total of about 6 million songs next year. And we'll try to sell them, or if we can't sell them, we will distribute this music for free, maybe. We haven't decided yet. But you know, like we only got AI to make instant music, not like the music, the real music that has a depth. I don't know what's the definition of the real music, but anyhow. And when AI makes music, we probably think of coding, or like a robot can come to mind, like it will be like not friendly maybe. So we created a character to change this kind of feelings and notion, and her name is Amy Moon, AIMY, Moon as a moon. She's an AI virtual composer now, and we look very hard for places that need this kind of music, and now Amy is pretty well-known influencer as a virtual composer on the metaverse platform called Zepeto. We probably all know the Zepeto. It's like a Roblox. Amy is creating music for virtual agencies and virtual idol and virtual singers and actors and people there who need the music for their music videos and videos. So soon, our team in Zepeto and our company will launch a virtual music production company, virtual music AI production company with influencers as a team member who's are all over from all over the world. They have like millions of fans. So we'll be creating music for tens of millions of Zepeto users. And we are also thinking about reaching out and expanding to the Roblox as well, and different kind of metaverse platform. So I definitely feel something here. Numerous teenager underage kids knows their avatar project themselves, and if they are very active as a singer or idol group, or they're not really satisfied enough with just covering other people's music, but eventually they will want to own their own music. So I came across, like that's the time I came across NFT, while I'm thinking about how to let users and customers owns the music who need music for the different reason, and like all kinds of different reasons. And when we can provide all different kinds of music, such as we can, you know, AI can customize and personalize, and K-pop and different EDM, hip hop, all kinds of genre and music that AI makes well. So I joined the team with my colleagues to create a marketplace called Snowback right away. It was the first time in Korea to do the K-pop music NFT, and for the first time in the world to do the AI music NFT as well. So we collaborate with NFT Oasis to make Art Space VR to perform this song, which was NFT, and that was our singer HyeGyung. The name of the song was I Don't Know What to Do. So that was created by AI. Music video was partly created by AI, and it was NFT'd and then performed in the Metaverse VR platform. And next week, a new song by a very, very famous Korean singer, and she will sing on the NFT Oasis performance, and then it will be NFT'd as well. So through this kind of process, I became more and thinking about and concerned about what is owning music itself. So AI will definitely help many non-musicians to make a good enough quality music and artwork pretty soon. So there will be a huge amount of content, and since consumers can make purchase directly, the type of music that buyers want, and that is like a very diverse type of music will be created too. So instead of pop music you hear on 3.5 minute, 3 minute and a 30-second music chart, the music will be very variety, like short, long, and it will be like tailored to your own sensibility that will be produced. NFT, it will allow you to make a music expresses the buyer's request and also the creator's personality, not just the music that made by following like a reference track, reference song from the chart. So think about the music that teenager or younger people, what they want. They're gonna grow in 5 years, 10 years, they'll be 20s. So they're not satisfied with just listening, because in the virtual world, I can easily become an idol and singer and actor or whatever. So then we need to figure out how to make this music ownership to satisfy this teenager. So what does a music consist of? When you break down the music, it consists of each sound. So the 3-minute music produced by AI, maybe other kind of regular, instant music, it consists of 2,000 to 3,000 sounds. So it altogether, it makes music. So we are going to split this sound from the music and let our customer and users have the ownership of each sound. So each sound has its original value, and it will be a piece of music when the sounds are combined into music, like a Lego blocks, like a figure of the robot. And when you come together, then it becomes music. It's like a one sound becoming a virtual asset. So we plan to see owner of 18 billion sound next year, and 6 million songs will be made through this. And in addition to the ownership of time-consuming contents, the copyright and ownership of AI contents and this kind of contents will be changed and evolved. So this is also change of concept of creation in music and artwork. So far, I've shared the music and technology, hybrid digital contents created by AI and evolution of ownership. Thank you.
Hello, I'm YunSung Lee, the CEO of MyBios. Who is your bias? Bias is used in the K-pop community to mean your favorite idol. If you don't have a bias, please visit MyBios. In MyBios platform, you can discover K-pop trainees and rookies who will be the next BTS and the next Blackpink. And own their NFTs, then support and promote them. As your bias becomes famous, the value of NFTs you own will also increase. Do you know this little boy? Let's take a look at his talent first.
New style. So fast roaches in the building. We are deep down. 전에 난 어리기만 했었지. 꿈은 현실과 달랐어. 부럽기만 했었지. But I don't care, I'm okay. 노래가라면 나 못해. 내 음반연한 시하교해. 외대하도 강요해. 맹태병 내 시간 가지고 글을 썼어. 부모님
He was pretty young, but he was talented and practiced harder than anyone. As a result, he becomes a super global star who hits the Billboard Hot 100 for 7th week. Yeah, the little boy's name is Suga of BTS. There are many trainees and rookies in Korea who are trying to become global stars like Suga. They practice dancing and singing every day, and even today, they only dream of debuting. But the global K-pop bands cannot know their existence. Due to language barriers and limited access to trainees' profile, it was really easy to miss out on talented rookies. Especially if they don't have any media exposure through audition programs or can't have their own social media account due to the company policy, fans can only know after they debut. But in my bias, you will have the chance to find your bias even before they debut. What if you can find a trainee who will become the next BTS and own their NFTs before they debut? If your bias becomes a superstar, the value of NFT will increase significantly compared to when you first discovered bias. If your bias hit the Billboard, the value of your NFT will be en masse. For this, my bias helps you discover talented bias, own their NFTs easily, support your bias for debut, and interact with your bias. Let me share our service page to show you how my bias works. First, we provide a list of promising idols. You can choose your favorite idol at a glance or just click to see more details. In detail page, you can see the idol has the talent or not, just in 3 seconds. Because we provide videos of the idol singing or dancing. If you want to watch more, you can also visit the idol's SNS. You can learn not only about the idol's entertainment talent, but also about the person himself. Recently, as you know, K-pop idols have become an issue due to school violence. It will be difficult to know about the nature of the person through this information, but at least you will be able to know how the idol is growing up with what kind of attitude. Also, you can see the idol's preference or the type of MBTI as well. This is the NFT of K-pop trainee, but we don't use the word NFT in my bias platform because the meaning of non-fungible is too difficult for K-pop fans to understand. We are inspired by NBA Top Shot. They did not use NFT word anywhere. Thanks to that, they were able to attract lots of NBA fans to their service. So we created and used a new word for an NFT. We call it ZAL. ZAL means meme in Korean, especially at the attractive images or short videos of K-pop idols. I really like this word because it sounds funny and looks cute. ZAL is not just a digital product. It is the luckiest, most precious moment during pre-debut period. At this moment, The idol trainee is pouring their blood, sweat, and tears for debuting. They sometimes feel frustrated because the debut is uncertain. But it is also a shining moment that is never coming back. That's why the zal is rare and valuable. Let me show you an example of zal. Unlike the general broadcast, fans can have it in digital base. Especially, we try to include the idol's emotion at this moment and love for fans who support the idol. You can see the message in the backside. It is the message from idol to the jar holders. If this idol is your bias, you must have it. You can get the jars randomly via jar box. If you don't have a certain bias, just buy and open the box. You can meet with new bias by serendipity. Jar box has two versions, premium box and base box. If you buy premium box, you can have the chance to get the more precious jars. If you want to buy a certain jar, you can buy it via jar market. There, fans can sell or buy the jars. But I think it'll be hard to buy the jar you want, because fans will likely not sell the jars once they have the jars. Here's a legend. The more jars you own and longer you hold them, the more likely you are to be rewarded. We are preparing the challenge program for jar holders. Jar holder means that they are the people who cherish and love the bias the most in the world. So we will provide the chance to get the limited goods or bias or meet with bias based online or offline. It will be released in the official My Bias platform. We would like to grow idols My Bias community based. My Bias community fans must have been watching the idols even before they debut and discover their talent at the first. Fans will spread the idol to other people because they want their bias to be famous. They will become the most powerful supporters and early adopters for idol. Thanks to them, the idol will get the popularity more easily. And fans can be paid for idol growth by increased value of jars they have. All of these things are made possible by jars. Let me show you the process. First, you discover a bias and own the jars of your bias. Then, promote the idol to other people to make the idol popular. The more popular the idol is, the more the jars value increase. If the idol gets popular, more and more people will want to own the jars. As a result, the new fans will participate in this circle, and the circle will keep repeated. So the idol can be famous based on the community, and the fans can receive the reward for raising idols. To make it possible and efficient, we are considering converting our platform to DAO, and we plan to expand the Metaverse platform to bring fans and buyers close together. My bias beta service will be launched at the end of July. Beta version is web-based and mobile application will be launched for official service. At the first Genesis Starbucks drop, only pre-registered fans can participate in the Starbucks drop. It will be announced via my bias Twitter. In the Genesis drop event, 6 K-pop trainees will be included in the Starbucks. One of them is this lovely girl. She has already 750 TikTok followers. Via my bias Twitter, she will be revealed soon. And this boy is from What's Planning. Although he's a trainee, he's working as a motivator who inspires many people. If you want to get the information for Jarbox Drop or discover the talented trainees in Korea, please visit our SNS and stay tuned. Thank you for watching our pitch for a long time, and thanks also to Noscrash and Han Dao for making this chance. Thank you.
이렇게 찍으면 안 되는데?